Hello everyone, this is Gemini Jets 1975 coming at you with another video today. This time I will be doing a brief history, I'll be doing a brief history and route maps on Alaska Airlines. I do have several special guests with me. We have Gemini Jets JXXX, we have Gemini Jet 77, we have Delta Fan 270, we have Citrus Aviation, we have Aviation Winnipeg, and we have Sky Blue Aviation. Everybody say hello. Or they all said hi. Okay, so let me get started here. So let's go ahead and get started here. We have, go back all the way to 1982. Alaska was a lot smaller, as you can tell. There were a few routes within the lower 48 out of Seattle. We go to Portland, San Francisco, Burbank, Long Beach, Ontario, and Palm Springs. And then these, the red and yellow lines were actually interchange flights. The red one was with American, and the yellow one, or orange, was with Continental. And what an interchange flight was, they would use the same aircraft, probably, it's hard to say, either in Alaska or whatever the airline was. One airline's crew would fly it from one point to the other. So in this case, Alaska would probably go from Anchorage, Fairbanks, Prudhoe Bay, or American would go from Fairbanks and Anchorage down to Seattle, and then American Airlines would take over the flight. Their flight crews would get on, and then they would fly it the rest of the way down to Dallas, Fort Worth, and to Houston. I do remember seeing Alaska aircraft while, at DFW. And then for the other one, it would be Continental from Prudhoe Bay, Fairbanks, Anchorage, down to Portland, Denver, and then Wichita and Tulsa. So that's a very, interesting. They actually had one pre-1982 with Braniff. So, okay, so let's put that one aside. The next one is 1986. So they expanded somewhat within the state of Alaska. And then they also had some feeder routes. Anchorage, I believe the airline was Alaska Airlines Commuter. It doesn't say who it was. And then the blue routes, those were actual Alaska routes. And then they still have the American Airlines interchange from Anchorage down to Seattle, and then to Chicago or Dallas Fort Worth. So it expanded a little bit. It looks like they opened up San Fran to Anchorage. So not too much expansion even within that, pretty big time frame. Okay. And then now we have 1987. So this is when Horizon Air was purchased. So you have a fairly large route network within the West Coast. Seattle, Spokane, Portland, and Boise. And then you do have, the same routes out west, and then the same intra-Alaska routes. So basically the main change was your Horizon Air Services. Okay, and then next, this was for the, who was it? Here it is. Jet America merger. So this was about the same time, 86, 87, and the Jet America routes are in blue here. They didn't really keep too many of them, or any of them for that matter. And then the classic Alaska routes in green, and then Horizon. Okay. Okay, now we have 1991. Alaska kind of made a short-lived foray into Russia, or the Soviet Union actually. And so they had flights from Anchorage to Magadan, Khabarovsk, and there was also a flight to one other coastal city, but I don't remember, or village, but I don't remember which one. They did expand somewhat. We did now had, this is only showing mainline. I did not put the Horizon Air routes on this map or make a separate one. They also started flying into Mexico. Then you have service to Phoenix, Los Angeles, Boise, Spokane. So they did start expanding by the early 1990s. Okay, next is 1994. This does show Horizon Air. So you got many routes within the state of Alaska now. I think some of these they don't even fly anymore. And the inset here is showing the Russia routes: Magadan, Khabarovsk, and Vladivostok. So they did fly to 3 cities. And then here is service to Chicago now. Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston, those are probably interchange routes. And then Mexico. Not a whole lot of change, again, except up in Alaska. Okay, now 2004, so this is a big jump. It's about 10 years. We have huge expansion. So Alaska is now flying their own aircraft into the East Coast: Boston, New York, Washington, Orlando, Miami, Chicago, Denver, and then several other cities in Mexico: Cancun, Ixtapa, Manzanillo, Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, on and on. And then several more cities out west, including all of the Horizon Air routes. And then, of course, Alaska. Up here at the top, we have Barrow, Kotzebue, Nome, so on and so forth, Adak. So this was 2004. And then next, I don't remember what year this was, probably 2011 or 12. They had started flying to Austin, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth. They have, well, no, I shouldn't say that. Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Orlando, Atlanta even. And then there's also a Chicago to Anchorage, as well as Denver to Anchorage. Hawaii service has since been added. So we have Anchorage to Honolulu and Kahului. And then Anchorage down to LA, San Francisco. Well, not San Francisco here. LA, Portland, and Seattle. So quite large route map. And then finally, this right here is the merger route map with Virgin America. So you see the Virgin America network overlaid on top of the historic Alaska routes. So you see where they're adding. Los Angeles and San Francisco are going to get much bigger for Alaska now. So you have all these new cities that Alaska added on their own: Omaha, Kansas City, Colorado Springs, St. Louis, Nashville, Atlanta, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and all of the transcontinental routes from Virgin America that are added on top of that now. So San Francisco and LA to Boston, New York. Then you have Washington, D.C., although they already flew there from Seattle. And it's just absolutely nuts how much Alaska has grown. Imagine what they would have been without Delta's influence. Did Delta cause them to grow more than they would have ordinarily? Did they help each other? You know, who's to say? Who knows? And then, of course, quite extensive service out to the state of Hawaii. And then we also have the SkyWest Alaska route map. it's quite a lot bigger than it was when they first started it. Routes out of Portland and Seattle, and then to San Diego, Orange County. There's even a Portland to Austin route, as well as a Portland to Dallas. Supposedly the old Virgin America routes out of Dallas Love Field will be transferred to regional aircraft, or at least some of them. So who knows? We may see that. So, oh, and then also there's Milwaukee to Seattle. That's a new route. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Everybody, please go subscribe to all of my special guests. We have, I can't remember all of them. Some of them have left, but everyone, please go subscribe to all of my special guests. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if this is the first time you've been to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.